You do not need confidence before you date. You need safety because confidence without safety is just performance, and performance is self-abandonment. This is the last video in our four-part series, Into the Audition, dating from inner glow instead of external validation. If you've watched the first three, you've already felt the shift. And if you haven't, go back and watch the others because this work builds on itself, especially the action steps. So make sure you stay until the end because this is the grand finale action step. And today, we're not talking about mindset. We're talking about embodiment because this is where you show up in life and put these behaviors into practice. And that is how the change actually sticks. So, here is the belief that most women are operating from. I need to be more confident before I put myself out there. No, because what you're actually saying when you say that is, I don't feel safe being myself yet. And that's not a lack of confidence, that's a nervous system pattern. You weren't taught how to stay grounded and stay safe in your body during discomfort or uncertainty. So, this is how we learn to perform or impress or manage someone else's perception or do things to manage our external environment instead of managing our internal environment. Because performing is not confidence, that's survival mode. And survival mode is why affirmations don't work in the long term because you can tell yourself something all day long, but if your body doesn't feel safe and your nervous system is still feeling hypervigilant, you won't believe what you're telling yourself. And this is why the just be confident advice keeps failing because your nervous system doesn't respond to thoughts. It responds to safety. And we all have personal accountability for regulating our nervous systems and feeling safe in our body. And then that's when we can be confident. So when you feel safe alone, you stop chasing and desperately clinging to connection. That's when you trust yourself and you stop chasing reassurance and everything outside of yourself because you have it within. And when you're regulated, you don't confuse intensity with intimacy or like what some people call chemistry or that spark. Because fear-based relationships feel urgent, but regulated connection feels steady and it feels calm. One keeps you addicted to external approval addiction, and the other one lets you breathe. And more importantly, it lets you feel safe being yourself. And that is a huge win. And the best thing about this is you feel okay being alone because I've mentioned before, there are so many people right now who the only reason they're in a relationship is not because they like their partner, but it's because they are afraid of being alone. And when you feel safe in your body, you feel okay being alone, you feel safe being alone, and that is so empowering because you're no longer negotiating your needs to avoid abandonment. You don't have low standards to avoid abandonment. It means you can walk away from a situation that isn't meant for you without feeling devastated. It means you choose partners from desire, not chase them and run after them out of lack and fear and desperation. And this is the lifestyle upgrade that nobody talks about because the sense of inner peace and the energy that you get from this is amazing. And this is why dating can feel exhausting because you are sacrificing your inner peace and your energy to perform or chase or just be addicted to that external approval addiction. But having that self-respect, self-trust, and self-love is exactly how you rekindle your inner glow and shine from the inside. So, for your final action step of this series, we are going to implement the GLOW method in real time. And the GLOW method is the method I use in my coaching. It's an acronym, and the G stands for go back to your childhood. So, what this means is when you feel the urge to impress or perform, and again, we're talking about dating, but this can apply to jobs or friendships or other situations. But when you feel the urge to impress or perform, and trust me, you can feel it in your body because maybe your chest feels tight, you start over explaining, you're performing, you can feel it in your body. It doesn't feel good. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? For example, if you're on a date and you find yourself performing, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? For example, it could be, I'm afraid that they won't like me. And this may, like, because a lot of the things we've been doing are things you can do in the moment. And if this takes time, let it take time. So ask yourself in the moment, what am I afraid of? But if you can't answer it immediately, that's okay. Because again, when we're becoming aware of these subconscious patterns, it's not always easy to put a finger on the why. So ask yourself in the moment, but if you need to reflect on this later, then take all the time you need, or even write it down so you can come back to it later. And I really want you to peel back the layers of this, meaning, um, in the example that I gave, you're on a date, you find yourself performing, and then you ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And the answer may be the initial answer, I'm afraid that they don't like me, won't like me, and keep asking yourself why. You know how like 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds are always like, why? Do that to yourself. That's how you peel back the layers of the onions. So, what if they don't like you? What is scary about that? Then that means that something is wrong with me. Why? And just keep peeling it back because all of our limiting beliefs can be traced back to one main root belief that was formed in our childhood because of the environment that we grew up in. So, for example, and I've mentioned this on other videos, my belief was that I felt like I didn't deserve to be loved. So, any of my people pleasing, perfectionist, or any of my behaviors or fears, if I peeled back the layers of the onions, they could all be traced back to that one inner belief that I didn't deserve to be loved. And that is where the real work starts because when you start to realize what that belief is, then you can really start changing these behaviors. Because, for instance, with me, that belief was not true. So that's how I learned how to change my behaviors. And then over time, I truly believed that I did deserve to be loved because I was behaving in coherence with the belief that I did deserve to be loved. And another way to phrase this, and because this is what one of my early mentors told me, and this is how I started doing it, is question everything you do and why you do it. And it's no different. That's the exact same way of phrasing, well, it's a different way of phrasing the G of my GLOW method of going back to your childhood, because that's how you uncover that limiting belief. So question why you are performing and why you're doing it. And again, and if you can't peel back all the layers immediately, this could take weeks or even months. But again, just every time you do something, question what you're doing and why you're doing it because there will be common themes. And this is what helps you peel back the layer of the onion and find that inner belief that is the root of all your behaviors. And that is the first step to major lasting change. Because if you just are putting band-aids on these outer layers of the onion, you're not going to create the lasting change that you really want and that really makes you feel good. So, if you are watching this and thinking, I see it and I get it, I am so proud of you because, again, I keep repeating myself, but having this awareness and pulling yourself out of these subconscious patterns are huge. And also, It's also a huge win because this means that you're ready to do the inner work, which is not easy and it's really hard. So the fact that you made it this far is a huge accomplishment. So I am so proud of you. And this is exactly the work that I do inside the Inner Glow coaching. It's not to make you confident, but it's to help you feel safe being fully yourself. And that is where confidence comes from. So, confidence is the byproduct of doing this work, feeling safe to be you, and rekindling that inner light that you were already born with. Because it's not about fixing yourself, it's about coming back home to who you really are. So, you stop abandoning yourself, start living from power and not performance. And I'm actually getting rid of this, but for now, I'm still doing, I have 5 sessions per month of my free Find Your Glow sessions. It's a 1 hour free session where we go through G of my glow method, which is go back to your childhood, because again, you need to peel back the layers of the onions, and sometimes it's hard to see your own blind spots. So this call is for me to help you with that. And even if we don't continue working together, having this information goes so far in your own personal journey. So if you are interested in a free 60-minute Find Your Glow session where we go back to your childhood and uncover your core limiting belief, then that link is in the description, and stay tuned for my next playlist.